Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be emotionally attractive, if you want to be that woman who turns heads and captures hearts, let me tell you something. It ain't about how you look. It's about how you make a man feel. See, men don't just fall in love with beauty. They fall in love with energy, with presence, with how you carry yourself, how you speak life into them, how you handle yourself in the face of challenges. Let me break it down for you. 0.1 confidence is your superpower. You ever walk into a room and see a woman who just owns it? She's not the loudest, she's not the flashiest, but there's something about her. That's confidence. And let me tell you something. Confidence makes you unforgettable. It tells a man, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I'm not here to beg for love. I am love. A man can sense when a woman is desperate for validation, and trust me, that's not attractive. But when you walk in knowing your worth, you don't need to chase. The right man will step up because he sees the value. 2, positivity is irresistible. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to be around negativity all day. Life is already hard enough. A man wants a woman who brings peace, joy, and inspiration into his life. You don't have to fake happiness, but when you focus on the good, when you see possibilities instead of problems, you become a breath of fresh air. Men admire women who uplift, encourage, and believe in them. Your energy is contagious. Make sure you're spreading something worth catching. 3, emotional intelligence is the game changer. Let's be real, life comes with drama. But how you handle that drama, that's what sets you apart. A woman who knows how to manage her emotions, who can communicate without yelling, who listens before reacting, that's rare. That's powerful. Men respect a woman who can express her feelings without tearing them down, who can be strong without being bitter, who can love deeply without losing herself. That kind of emotional maturity, that's next level attractive. 4, authenticity wins every time. Listen, you don't have to be anybody but you. You don't have to pretend to be the cool girl who never gets upset. You don't have to change your personality to fit what you think a man wants, because the right man, he wants the real you, flaws and all. A woman who embraces her quirks, who isn't afraid to laugh at herself, who stands firm in her values, that's the woman who captures hearts. 5, self-love is the foundation. Let me tell you something important. A man can only love you as much as you love yourself. If you settle for disrespect, if you let him play games, if you don't set boundaries, guess what? You're teaching him how to treat you. But when you love yourself fiercely, when you show up for yourself, when you set the bar high and refuse to lower it, the right man will rise to meet you. Ladies, emotional attractiveness isn't about trying to be perfect. It's about being a woman who knows her value, radiates positivity, communicates with wisdom, stays true to herself, and prioritizes her own well-being. Because the truth is, when you become that woman, you won't have to chase. The right man will recognize your worth and never want to let you go. Confidence is one of the most powerful and magnetic qualities a woman can have. It's not about arrogance or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing who you are, embracing your worth, and carrying yourself with a sense of certainty that makes others take notice. A confident woman doesn't walk into a room wondering if she's good enough. She steps in knowing she belongs. She doesn't seek approval from everyone because she already approves of herself. This kind of energy is impossible to ignore, and men find it incredibly attractive. When a woman is confident, she doesn't feel the need to chase anyone. She knows that she is valuable, and that means she's selective about who gets access to her time and energy. A man can sense when a woman is desperate for validation, and that energy can be repelling. But when a woman operates from a place of self-assurance, she naturally draws people in. She becomes a presence that commands respect, not because she demands it, but because she embodies it. Confidence changes the way she speaks, the way she moves, and the way she interacts with the world around her. Men are instinctively drawn to women who exude a quiet, effortless confidence. They admire a woman who carries herself with poise, who can hold a conversation without seeking constant reassurance, and who knows what she brings to the table. This kind of woman doesn't get rattled by small insecurities or doubts because she understands that confidence isn't about never feeling fear or uncertainty. It's about pushing forward despite them. She doesn't let the opinions of others define her worth because she has already decided that she is enough. Confidence also impacts the way a woman sets boundaries. A confident woman knows what she will and won't tolerate, and she doesn't bend her standards to keep someone around. She doesn't beg for love, chase after men who are emotionally unavailable, or accept treatment that doesn't align with her value. This kind of self-respect is incredibly attractive to men because it signals that she is someone worth pursuing. When a woman holds herself to a high standard, the right man will rise to meet it. Another thing about confident women is that they are secure in their individuality. They don't feel the need to compete with other women or change themselves to fit into someone else's idea of what they should be. They embrace their unique qualities, quirks, and even imperfections because they understand that true beauty lies in authenticity. This kind of self-acceptance is contagious. When a woman is comfortable in her own skin, it allows the people around her to feel comfortable too. Confidence is not about perfection. It's about embracing who you are, flaws and all. It's about walking through life with your head held high, knowing that you are worthy of love, respect, and all the good things coming your way. When a woman embodies this, she becomes unforgettable. A positive mindset is one of the most irresistible qualities a woman can have. It goes beyond simply being happy or smiling often. It's a deep-rooted attitude that affects the way she approaches life, love, and relationships. A woman with a positive mindset doesn't allow circumstances to dictate her energy. Instead, she chooses to see the good in situations, believes in possibilities, and carries herself in a way that makes people feel uplifted just by being around her. This kind of energy is magnetic, and men find it incredibly attractive because it brings a sense of peace, stability, and inspiration into their lives. Men, like anyone else, face stress, uncertainty, and challenges. The world can be a tough place, and life isn't always easy. That's why a woman who radiates optimism is so powerful. She becomes a safe space, a source of encouragement, and a light in dark moments. She doesn't dwell on negativity or constantly complain about what's wrong. Instead, she focuses on solutions, growth, and the lessons that every situation offers. She understands that her mindset shapes her reality, so she chooses to look at life through a lens of gratitude and opportunity. A woman with a positive mindset doesn't mean she ignores problems or pretends bad things don't happen. It means she refuses to be consumed by negativity. She faces struggles with resilience, knowing that every setback is temporary and that she has the strength to overcome whatever comes her way. This kind of emotional stability is incredibly attractive to men because it shows that she can handle life's ups and downs without being overwhelmed by them. She doesn't make drama a part of her identity, and she doesn't let small inconveniences ruin her entire day. Instead, she finds ways to adapt, stay hopeful, and move forward with grace. Her positivity also reflects in the way she treats others. She speaks with kindness, encourages the people around her, and spreads good energy wherever she goes. She doesn't engage in gossip, bitterness, or jealousy because she understands that what she puts out into the world comes back to her. This kind of emotional maturity makes her stand out. When she walks into a room, people feel lighter because her presence adds value rather than tension. Men are especially drawn to women who make them feel good about themselves. A woman with a positive mindset sees potential in her partner, encourages his dreams, and believes in him even when he doubts himself. She doesn't nag or criticize unnecessarily, but instead offers support and understanding. This doesn't mean she tolerates disrespect or lowers her standards. On the contrary, her positivity stems from her inner strength. She knows that she deserves a healthy, loving relationship, and she won't settle for anything less. Ultimately, a woman with a positive mindset is a breath of fresh air. She doesn't bring unnecessary stress into a man's life. Instead, she adds peace, joy, and inspiration. Her energy is uplifting, and that makes her unforgettable. Emotional intelligence is one of the most powerful traits a woman can possess. It goes beyond just understanding emotions. It's about knowing how to manage them, express them with grace, and navigate relationships in a way that fosters deep connection and trust. Men are naturally drawn to women who exhibit emotional intelligence because it creates an environment of stability, understanding, and respect. When a woman knows how to communicate her feelings effectively, handle conflict maturely, and remain composed, even in difficult situations, she stands out in a way that is truly magnetic. One of the most important aspects of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. A woman who is emotionally intelligent knows herself, her triggers, her strengths, her weaknesses, and what she needs to feel fulfilled. She doesn't allow her emotions to control her actions in a destructive way. Instead, she takes time to reflect and understand why she feels the way she does before reacting. This makes her interactions with others, especially men, more meaningful because she can express herself clearly and honestly without resorting to blame, passive aggression, or emotional outbursts. Another key factor in emotional intelligence is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. A woman with a high level of emotional intelligence doesn't just listen to respond, she listens to understand. She can pick up on the emotions of the people around her, making them feel heard and valued. This is especially attractive to men because, let's be honest, many of them struggle with opening up emotionally. When a woman provides a safe space where a man feels understood and accepted, he begins to trust her in a way that deepens their bond. Graceful communication is another hallmark of emotional intelligence. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. A woman who can express her needs, frustrations, or concerns without resorting to yelling, blaming, or shutting down commands respect. She knows how to have difficult conversations without turning them into unnecessary drama. Instead of playing mind games or expecting her partner to just know what's wrong, she communicates openly and directly. This makes her a rare and valuable presence in any man's life. Handling conflict with maturity is also a major factor that sets emotionally intelligent women apart. Every relationship will have disagreements, but it's how those disagreements are handled that determines whether a connection deepens or breaks apart. A woman with emotional intelligence doesn't escalate fights or hold grudges. She looks for resolutions, compromise, and mutual understanding. She doesn't engage in toxic patterns like the silent treatment or emotional manipulation. Instead, she focuses on finding solutions and maintaining mutual respect, even in moments of frustration. Finally, emotional intelligence allows a woman to remain emotionally secure. She doesn't let insecurity drive her actions, nor does she need constant reassurance to feel valued. She knows her worth, and because of that, she doesn't react impulsively out of fear or jealousy. This kind of emotional stability is incredibly attractive to men because it brings a sense of peace and certainty into the relationship. At the core of it all, emotional intelligence creates deep, lasting connections. It allows a woman to build trust, communicate effectively, and handle challenges with grace. Qualities that make her truly unforgettable. You said, authenticity is one of the most powerful traits a woman can have. In a world where people constantly feel pressure to fit into certain molds, a woman who is unapologetically herself stands out in the most captivating way. Being authentic means embracing who you truly are, your personality, your quirks, your values, and your beliefs, without pretending to be someone you're not just to please others. It means showing up as your real self, whether in friendships, relationships, or any aspect of life, and allowing people to love and appreciate you for who you genuinely are. Men are naturally drawn to authenticity because it signals confidence, emotional security, and self-respect. When a woman is real, it creates a sense of trust and comfort. There's no second guessing, no mixed signals, and no games. Just a genuine connection that makes a relationship feel natural and effortless. She doesn't have to fake interests, agree with everything a man says, or change her opinions just to be liked. Instead, she embraces her uniqueness and allows her true personality to shine. One of the most exhausting things a person can do is pretend to be something they're not. Trying to maintain a facade, whether it's acting like you have no emotions, pretending to love things you secretly hate, or suppressing your true personality takes an incredible amount of energy. And the worst part, it's never sustainable. Eventually, the real you will surface, and if someone only fell for the version of you that you created to impress them, the connection will feel shallow and unsatisfying. On the other hand, when you lead with authenticity from the start, you attract people who appreciate and respect the real you. Authenticity also creates emotional freedom. A woman who is true to herself doesn't live in fear of judgment or rejection. She understands that she's not meant to be liked by everyone, and that's okay. She would rather be deeply loved by the right people than superficially accepted by the wrong ones. She knows that her worth isn't defined by how many people approve of her, but by how true she is to herself. This level of self-assurance is incredibly attractive because it radiates a rare kind of confidence, one that isn't based on external validation, but on deep inner knowing. Men admire women who are comfortable in their own skin. They don't want someone who is constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to express her true thoughts and feelings. They appreciate a woman who can be playful, vulnerable, and expressive without fear. A woman who isn't afraid to laugh at herself, speak her truth, and embrace her imperfections is a breath of fresh air in a world where so many people feel pressured to conform. Being authentic also helps weed out the wrong relationships faster. When you present your true self from the start, you naturally repel people who aren't aligned with who you are, saving yourself from unnecessary heartbreak. The right man will appreciate and cherish your authenticity because it allows for a deeper, more meaningful connection, one built on honesty, trust, and mutual respect. At the end of the day, authenticity is your superpower because it allows you to attract people into your life who love and accept you for who you truly are. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of trying to be something you're not and replaces it with the confidence, joy, and peace that come from living as your genuine self. Self-love is one of the most powerful forces in a woman's life. It sets the foundation for how she carries herself, how she interacts with others, and most importantly, how she allows herself to be treated. When a woman truly loves herself, she doesn't just say it, she lives it. She sets boundaries, she prioritizes her well-being, and she refuses to accept anything less than the love and respect she knows she deserves. This isn't arrogance, it's self-worth in action. And when a woman operates from a place of self-love, the world, including men, responds accordingly. One of the biggest misconceptions about self-love is that it's just about pampering yourself with spa days, new outfits, or positive affirmations. While those things can be a part of it, self-love runs much deeper. It's about recognizing your value independent of external validation. It's about knowing that your worth isn't defined by how desirable you are to others, how much attention you get, or how many people approve of you. Instead, it's rooted in a deep, unshakable understanding that you are enough just as you are, flaws and all. A woman who loves herself sets boundaries without hesitation. She knows that love and respect start with her, so she does not tolerate mistreatment, disrespect, or inconsistency. She doesn't allow people to walk all over her, and she certainly doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. When she says no, she means it. When she feels disrespected, she addresses it. She doesn't beg for love, attention, or validation because she already provides those things for herself. And guess what? That level of self-respect makes men take notice. Men are naturally drawn to women who respect themselves because it signals confidence, independence, and emotional security. A woman who loves herself isn't looking for someone to complete her, she's already whole. She's not desperate for love, she chooses it from a place of strength, not lack. This makes a man step up his game. He knows that if he wants to be in her life, he has to bring something valuable to the table because she won't settle for less. Another powerful aspect of self-love is the way it influences a woman's internal dialogue. A woman who loves herself speaks to herself with kindness. She doesn't tear herself down with negative self-talk, compare herself to others, or allow insecurities to dictate her choices. Instead, she uplifts herself, acknowledges her growth, and embraces her journey. This inner confidence radiates outward, making her energy irresistible to those around her. A woman who practices self-love also prioritizes her own happiness. She doesn't wait for a man, a relationship, or anyone else to make her feel fulfilled. She creates that joy for herself. She pursues her passions, invests in her growth, and surrounds herself with people who uplift her. This kind of independence is incredibly attractive because it shows that she is with a man because she wants to be, not because she needs to be. Ultimately, self-love sets the standard for how a woman is treated in all areas of life. When she honors herself, others have no choice but to follow suit. She teaches people how to treat her by the way she treats herself. Demanding respect embracing her worth, and refusing to settle for anything less than she deserves. And that, above all else, makes her truly magnetic.